All right. Hi, everybody. It's Chef Andrew Hunter, and I am coming at you from my kitchen lab in Los Angeles, California. I'm the executive chef for Niman Ranch, and I've been that for 10 or 15 years. I have the unenviable position of having an endless supply of bacon at my disposal. The best bacon in the world, I might add. So we're doing these Instagram lives for the next 4 weeks leading up to Thanksgiving. They're not just Thanksgiving recipes though, they can be recipes for the whole holiday season. We're doing Brussels sprouts. I'll give you the details about the Brussels in a minute. Next week we're doing bacon wrapped dates, and then we're doing this amazing sausage dip. Think artichoke and spinach, but this is with artichokes and roasted red peppers. And then the last one is this great ham that we have. In fact, I'm going to show you our products that we're going to work with. This amazing ham that we're going to glaze with a brown sugar cognac glaze. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to use these different kinds of sausages. And this is the Applewood smoked bacon. Why Applewood? For me, to my taste, hickory is the strongest wood for smoke, and I think it's too strong because I think that it overshadows the pork. I like Applewood because it's sweet and it's soft, and it actually helps feature the pork instead of covering it up. All right, so on to matters at hand. This is what I got going today. I have Brussels sprouts, which I make in a certain way that I'm gonna teach you. And then in here I have bacon and onions that I've cooked together. And I cooked them for a pretty long time, actually, at low heat. So it's almost like a confit, which means to cook in its own fat. And the onions and the bacon marry together, and they get all sweet and smoky at the same time. So Niman Ranch, for those of you that don't know, Niman Ranch is a group of 750 farmers from across the Midwest that raise hogs in the protocol of Niman Ranch. We're committed to family farms, multi-generational farms, and one of the things that I'm the most proud of, in fact I can get choked up about when I watch, is the next generation farmers and listening to the verbatim comments about what these scholarships to the next generation farmers mean. All right, I'm gonna turn my bacon down a little bit, and I thought this knife was appropriate. Look, it looks like a Brussels sprout. So this is what a Brussels sprout looks like. It's a little tiny head of cabbage, right? I know you're all familiar. And I just trim it off. And what's important is then to get the extra leaves off of this. And I can even go a little bit more. The idea for this preparation is to get a flat edge, because they're going to sit in the pan in a certain way. And that flat edge is important to the finished dish. So I'm going to cut these. I got most of them cut. I got a few left here. I like Brussels sprouts. They're all individuals. They all look a little bit different. Some of them have a big stem, some are smaller, but makes me feel like they have personality. Let's see. When I'm cooking, I try to have a little bowl or a produce bag or something next to me that I can use as trash, because I don't want to keep going back and forth to the trash can. So I have this bowl here, and we'll put these in. You can compost these, and I peel off the extra leaves. Oh, there's another one. He didn't want to go into the pan. Brussels sprouts, if you overcook them, the challenge with Brussels is if you overcook them, they can get a little bitter. So we don't want to overcook them. And the bacon helps make them smoky and delicious. I mean, when you think about Niman Ranch at Thanksgiving and the holidays, it's really the perfect ingredient because it's delicious. It's a little bit of a treat. People will know that your family will know that you're treating them well and special during the holidays. It's a little indulgent, but we deserve it, right? We've had a tough few months, and this is a time to celebrate with family, and so that's what we're going to do. All right. So it's important, we try to use everything that we can. When we start with an item, we try to, a dish or a recipe, we try to use everything that we can. So we can compost that. You can also chew and nibble on these. They're a healthier snack than the bacon that you're sure to snack on. We also try to make recipes relatively simple. So we have the Brussels, we have the bacon here, we have chives, chicken broth is over here, and a little bit of balsamic vinegar. I think the trick for making something from good to great is paying attention to little final details. Really delicious aged balsamic vinegar and freshly ground black pepper. Okay. So you can see that I have a bowl with a napkin in it to get any fat, but I'm also pressing it down because my goal is to leave as much fat in the pan as possible. And why is that? Because it's going to help caramelize the Brussels. So you're going to end up with them steamed on the top and caramelized on the bottom. One of the tricks, though, is to get as much of the bacon out as you can. You don't want your bacon to burn in there while you're cooking the Brussels. So Thanksgiving and the holidays in general are my favorite time to cook because it's a time that I actually get to slow down, cook for people that I love, and also take a little time in doing it, not being rushed. At the same time, I understand for people who aren't professional cooks, it could be one of the most stressful times of the year. So I thought I'd give you a few little tips. One of them is to plan ahead. Make lists, pull out things like plates and platters and serving utensils and all of those sorts of things, and write what they're for on a little Post-it note. So in this bowl, write Brussels, and that way you won't forget. While I'm giving you your tips, I'm gonna add these to the pan. So I kind of start on one end. Notice I paid a lot of attention to cutting off a flat edge, and the reason for that is I'm putting them in the pan, flat edge down. I know that I'm starting with the line. It doesn't really matter. I also told you that some are bigger and some are smaller. That's important because it's a little bit of a puzzle. I like to get the big ones in, and then the little ones can fill in the gaps. If you're not so brave, turn the pan off. Probably smarter than me with it on. And if one's a little out of place, that's okay. Remember, they have their own personality. So organize. Not just your plates and serviceware, but also think about what you need to buy. Don't try to make everything from scratch. Like if you're making a pumpkin pie, buy canned pumpkin. It'll actually be a lot easier, and you know what? It'll be better than like if you roast your pumpkin. So don't go too far. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to create a dinner plan that allows you to watch football, maybe play a little football, do the things that are important, because after all, you're not supposed to just be in the kitchen. So The recipe calls for a pound. You can use a pound. This is probably a little bit more. It depends on what you're doing. It should either be cast iron or non-stick, because what you're doing is you're trying to create a golden brown, almost like a pot sticker. Think of these as pot stickers. So I'm going to turn up the heat. When I feel like it's nice and hot, I'm going to add chicken broth. Don't make chicken broth, buy it. There's a lot of good broths out there. I try to buy one that either says no sodium or low sodium. The reason is that I'm in control of the amount of salt that goes in. Recipe calls for a half cup to a cup. Again, it depends on what your how big your pan is and how many people you're cooking for. As we go down the road a little bit here, I'm going to tell you to serve right in this cast iron skillet. Okay, so in the interest of time, I'm going to put this lid on. The lid is important because it's going to steam. The Brussels are going to steam. Now I'm going to take it off and put one on that I made earlier. And while it's heating up, I want to show you another tip to surviving Thanksgiving and the holidays. Do things in advance that you can, like prepping onions, cutting bacon. Put them in the restaurant biz, we call these delis. They're indispensable. You can't live without them. They come in different sizes. They're also what you buy at the deli when you buy your potato salad and stuff. If you don't have these or can't find them to buy, any kind of disposable plastic with a snap-on lid. These are also great because they stack. So the formal French culinary term is mise en place, or everything in its place. That's what these will help you do. Okay, so now these are good and hot, and let me see if I succeeded here. Look at that. Nice and caramelized. You can decide the degree of the doneness that you want. That's a perfect one. Now I'm going to turn the heat way down. Actually, I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to drizzle a little balsamic vinegar. I'm going to give it a chance to continue to cook, and then I'm going to add my bacon and onions over the top. Nobody's going to complain if you put a lot on. The goal, however, you can smell the balsamic, it's sweet and acidic. The goal, nobody's going to complain, but the goal also is that you see the Brussels, because they're really the star of the show. And then some chives. And some fresh ground pepper. This is really important because it'll be the most flavorful when you grind it fresh, and you can put this right next to it. That's the cue on the buffet. That's your cue to say, oh, Andrew wants us to put a little pepper on our Brussels. So here they are, made with Niman Ranch, Applewood smoked bacon, dry cured. How beautiful is that? It's really pretty in the just you put down a little trivet or a towel or whatever you're putting your buffet out on, and serve it just like this. So we hope you'll join us next week for bacon stuffed or blue cheese stuffed bacon wrapped dates, and then the following with the dip and the ham. And from Niman Ranch family to yours, we wish you a very happy Thanksgiving and holiday season. Hope you're well, and cheers.